ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another college football preview and predictions video. The team that we're going to be taking an in-depth dive on today is our 2024 Kansas Jayhawks football team. We're going to do a complete preview of this team, looking over the roster, seeing what pieces they brought in from last year, what pieces they lost from last season, but also looking at their entire 2024 schedule, seeing which games we think they're going to win, lose, and what we predict their final record will be for this season. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below and I will make sure to respond. So we're looking at our 2024 Kansas Jayhawks team. This is not the Kansas Jayhawks of the last decade. This is a completely different team for the last 3 to 4 seasons. Lance Leipold, since he has taken over as the head coach, has completely revitalized this program. He has them back on track. They won 9 games last season, so they are a definite threat in the Big 12, a newly revamped Big 12. Texas is gone. Oklahoma's gone. So that top spot is technically up for grabs, and the conference is very deep. Vegas has them coming in at 8.5 wins, so they have them having a pretty good season, probably a top 25 finishing season at the end of the year. And this is a very experienced roster. They have 30 seniors on this roster. This roster has a lot of reps, has a lot of starts, has a lot of experience. Lance Leipold, as I mentioned, he is back as the head coach. So he set a strong foundation for the future going forward. And actually, when you take a look at this schedule here, they actually avoid a lot of the bigger, harder teams in the Big 12 this season. So the schedule actually sets up pretty nicely for them to have a really strong year and to potentially make a run at one of those 12 playoff spot berths. Now, the main hinge factor here is whether quarterback Jayden Daniel can stay healthy. He's actually never had a full healthy season, only plays 3 games last season. So that's a big point. When he plays, he's a difference maker. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He's very athletic. A complete change of pace at the quarterback position. If he plays the whole season finally, this could really set up for some massive changes here, some massive potential for the Jayhawks this season. It all kind of hinges on him. They were down to their 3rd string quarterback at one point last season. Still won 9 games. Now, running back Devin Neal, he is back. He's a beast. He's a workhorse. They can put the team on his shoulders, and as long as the quarterback's set, this team is going to go places. Now, the offensive coordinator, Andy Konolecki, he's actually gone. He's taken the offensive coordinator position at Penn State. That's a pretty massive loss. He did run a multiple scheme offense, very balanced, running, throwing the ball. He's gone. Jeff Grimes is coming over from Baylor. He's the new offensive coordinator. I have a lot of questions about him because Baylor's offense was pretty garbage for the last few years from when he ran it from 21 to 23, but maybe he also runs a multiple scheme. Maybe it's going to be different with this team with a strong foundation at quarterback and running back and also on the offensive line. Kansas does have a couple defensive players leaving, but they are set, especially at the cornerback position. They have Brian coming back, Dawson coming back, linebackers, Millers and Young, they're both gone. But Kansas has been working recruiting and the portal to make sure to have depth there. So that's our breakdown of the team. Now let's take a look at the roster. So they kick things off Thursday, August 29th. So a little bit of an early game for that first week 1 versus Lindenwood. Now, when they're playing Lindenwood, obviously this is going to be a blowout game. But you want to make sure that Daniel stays healthy. You want to make sure that the new defensive players get some reps. So this is a game just for our new starters to be getting some reps in this new scheme. It's going to be a blowout game. I'm going to say it's going to be a 55-13 game, and Kansas is 1-0. They follow that up versus a Big Ten matchup Saturday, September 7th at Illinois. They are on the road. Illinois had a pretty good season 2 to 3 years ago, but they've pretty much fallen off since then now. They are capable of having a tough physical defense, so this is going to be a decent challenge for Kansas, but obviously Kansas is the way more talented team. They're going to win this game pretty comfortably to me. It's going to be a 30-20 game. They're 2-0. They follow that one up Saturday, September 14th versus UNLV. That should be a win, but it's obviously a game that you don't want to underestimate. You don't want to think that playing them, you're going to run right through them, but I think Kansas should definitely be able to control the game, keep the game on the ground with Neal. They're going to win this one. Let's put it at a 34-24 game, and they're 3-0. Then Saturday, September 21st, you have at West Virginia. Now the Mountaineers, This is a team that won 9 games last season, came out of nowhere. A lot of people had Neil Brown getting fired last year. He shut down all of the haters. They have a lot of starters coming back. They were on no one's radar last season, but they surprised a lot of people, finished the year strong. Everyone's going to be taking them serious this season, and they definitely should. As I mentioned, a lot of starters are coming back for the 2024 football year. This is a game that I actually have Kansas losing this one. I think the Mountaineers are going to be at home. They're going to be ready to play. This is one of their first top 25 matchups of the season because Kansas should start out the year ranked. Should be ranked the whole season. They are that talented. But I have them dropping this one on the road. It's an early test. It's in conference. They're going to lose it. I'm going to put it at a higher scoring game, 34-31. West Virginia wins. Kansas is 3-1. Then after that, versus TCU. TCU obviously went to the national championship 2 seasons ago. They had a lot of injuries last season that kind of held them back. But they are a very talented squad, and they have been working the portal and recruiting very well. But I have Kansas rebounding under Lance Leipold. He's a great coach. He's going to get this team back on track. They're going to rebound from their loss. They're going to win this one 37-27, and they're 4-1. Then Saturday, October 5th, at Arizona State, one of the new teams to the Big 12. Obviously, there's a massive talent gap here at the skilled positions. Kansas should win this one pretty comfortably. I'm going to say it's going to be a 40-20 game, and they're 5-1. Then Saturday, October 19th, versus Houston. Houston, obviously, with Daniel Holgorsen getting fired, this is going to be a completely different team. Now, they are bringing over Fritz from Tulane. Good coach, but the roster is completely changed over. It's going to take some time to build depth there. Kansas should be able to get the win. They're going to win it. Let's say it's going to be a 33-23 game, and they're 6-1. Then Saturday, October 26th, at Kansas State. Obviously, this is a massive rivalry game. Kansas State also has a great head coach. Very, very deep roster. Actually, one of the deepest running back rooms in all of the country. But they do have a first-year starting quarterback. Starting the whole season this coming year, obviously with Will gone. But it's a very talented team, a top 30 offense, top 30 defense, and they're very physical in the trenches. I have Kansas State getting the win at home, beating Kansas, so them dropping this one. Let's say I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, like a 30-27 game, and Kansas is, it's going to be 6-2. And Saturday, November 9th, obviously they're coming off the loss. Iowa State's one of those teams you don't want to sleep on. You don't want to take them not serious coming off the loss. They're always physical, always have a good defense. They could easily have back-to-back losses here, but I have Lance Leipold getting them back on track, them getting back in the win column, beating Iowa State 27-21, and they're 7-2. And then Saturday, November 16th, they're at BYU. BYU's always a tough place to go to and play, especially with the elevation factor, but I have Kansas continuing to roll here. They're going to win this one 37-24, and they're 8-2. Then Saturday, November 23rd, versus Colorado. A lot of people have Colorado potentially winning this game. Colorado, obviously, they have a lot of talented players. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, they have Deion Sanders there. They have Pat Schumer calling the offensive plays. They have a whole new defensive scheme. They will be better. They've obviously been working the portal as well as anyone. But I think Kansas is the more experienced team. They have the better running back. And to me, they're just a more talented, more experienced roster. 30 seniors, that's going to make the difference. They're going to beat Colorado. It's going to be a higher scoring game, 38-30. They're 9-2. Then Saturday, November 30th, they close the season at Baylor. So here's Grimes to get some revenge on his old Baylor team. I think Dave Aranda's probably going to be fired at this point. They're going to have an interim coach. Kansas is going to run right through them. It's going to be 35-24. I have Kansas finishing the 2024 season 10-2. So I am going over. Vegas has them at 8.5 wins. 10-2, that's kind of a leap of faith there. But I think this is Kansas's year to have a really strong season as long as Jayden Daniel stays healthy and Neal stays healthy. They should be able to throw the ball when they need to, run the ball when they need to. The running back can run, the quarterback can run. Kansas finishes 10-2, really strong season, potential Big 12 playoff berth, potential championship for the Big 12. So that's my breakdown of our 2024 Kansas Jayhawks. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop it below and I will respond. Thanks.